Hey guys, Dan the producer here for Comics Tonight, where we bring you an ultimate rundown of all the comics coming out this week, as well as things happening in the comic industry. Today I wanted to let you know of a little secret that we finally got a sponsor, and that sponsor is Vikings: War of Clans. Guys, did you know that DNA studies claim that 1 out of 30 people are a direct descendant of the Viking warriors? Since we're above 1.6 million subscribers on this channel, that means we have a ton of Vikings in the midst. So in the name of Odin, I urge you to join me in 20 million Vikings in the most epic battle of the month on mobile. Awaken your inner Viking! Use the links in my description below and download Vikings: War of Clans and get 200 gold, initial protection shield, and your place in Valhalla. Join me, my fellow Vikings, and you can find me by the name Comicstorian, because I have stolen it from Benny, because that is what we Vikings do! For Odin!
Welcome to Comics Tonight. Today, this is the show where we go over all of the cool news in the comic book industry, if there is any, and we talk about the solicits that are coming out on Wednesdays right here in the comic book world. All of the new books, so you know, new arcs or ongoing storylines, or where maybe just books you didn't know were coming out. We try to fill you in on these things. But before we can go on to the news of C2E2, aka Chicago Comic-Con, why don't we check in on Houston to see if within a week he managed to find the instructions to his Legos.
They're done. I did them in the dark because you guys forgot about me.
Oh! Yeah, no, we definitely did. I was wondering where you were all week. I was playing Monster Hunter without you. All right, so here is the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. This is the Lego Light Cycle. You get multiple characters, including this dual-sworded, amazing Korra character. Pew pew! And you get to build light cycles. Pshoo! Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the news. And this week we had C2E2, Chicago Comic-Con. It's one of the big industry, comic book industry kind of news outlets, and they normally reveal quite a bit of things. But this year they didn't reveal that much. There was a lot of discussion about Superman number 1000 over in Action Comics. There was a lot of talk about the Fresh Start Marvel Initiative, and there was a Batman panel. So I am going to give you the news on the Batman panel, and we're gonna talk about Marvel Fresh Start and what they said about it before we go into the releases from this week. Now, over in the Batman panel, they talked about the wedding between Batman and Catwoman. So each person is doing something special to celebrate this. DC itself is doing some special stuff, starting with issue number 45 of Batman. What they're going to be doing is Tom King is telling a story in which Booster Gold is trying to give a gift to Batman and Catwoman. That gift, bring back Batman's parents. There's kind of a problem with that, though. Because, you know, the death of his parents created Batman. So if he brings back Batman's parents, guess what? He's not Batman. So how did he even meet Catwoman? What happens to the Joker? What happens to everyone? Well, the hint we have is that Dick Grayson became Batman, but without the appropriate training or, you know, the care and thought put into training him, he now uses guns. So Batman's still there, but it's not Bruce Wayne. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like Booster Gold created a Batpoint event.
You really made a Flashpoint pun, Dan? Flashpoint pun, really?
Definitely did.
Okay. Over in DC Nation number 0, we're going to be having an 8-page storyline talking about the Joker himself. It's going to be basically explaining why he thinks he didn't get an invitation to the wedding. Dan, what are your theories on that?
Well, Benny, maybe it's because of the fact that, you know, he's the Joker, or perhaps this is just a joke issue.
Really, Dan? Are you just rolling with the puns today? Over in Batman, Prelude to the Wedding, we have Tim Seeley writing it, and there's going to feature a couple of stories. First, the actual prelude to the wedding, in which the Bat family is going to be all emotional that their mentor and hero is getting married and moving on with his life. We're also going to have a separate storyline involving Dan Dido, which is going to be a double date storyline slipped in. And then there's going to be another storyline about Harley Quinn going to find the Joker, because if she's unhappy, then, as they put it, she is unhappy that he wants to destroy a good relationship. So he wants to destroy the relationship of Batman and Catwoman, and Harley Quinn's like, I hate you. If you saw the recent video about that on our channel, then you know that she is not a fan of, oh God, made a mess. Not a fan of him at all. Over in Batman 50, the official wedding issue, we're going to have multiple different artists helping out on this one. We're going to have Frank Miller, we're going to have Jim Lee, and we're going to have many others coming in. Everyone who has worked on the book will be there as a sort of team celebration overall. And here's the coolest news out of all of this before we move on to the Marvel news. They're going to spin off another book out of the Batman wedding. We're going to get Catwoman in a solo book finally, which we haven't had since the New 52. And it's going to be dealing with her living the life of being Batman's wife while being, Catwoman, a crook and a thief and a jewel thief and just who she is. So that's the news over at C2E2. We also had a huge panel about Superman 1000, the Action Comics issue. Brian Michael Bendis sat down. He apparently threw red trunks out to the audience during the panel just to kind of celebrate. We brought back the trunks. We brought back the trunks, Dan.
Good old Trunks coming back from the future.
No, Dan, we're still not doing Dragon Ball. Okay, let's move on over to the Marvel Fresh Start. No, it's not a deodorant. We make that joke every time, don't we, Dan?
We definitely do. We like that joke.
Yes, we do. It's kind of like Old Spice, but it smells like Spider-Man's armpits. Anyway, we had the new editor-in-chief of Marvel sitting down and talking to people about what they can expect with Fresh Start. The first thing that he said is this is not really a relaunch or a reboot, but creatively, we're shaking things up. Perhaps the biggest name in the Marvel stable right now is Jason Aaron, who has had his memorable run on Star Wars Monthly come to a close. And he's also ended his chapter of the Mighty Thor run. If you were not tracking the situation, Jane Foster has officially passed on to the Thor afterlife until she inevitably gets brought back because of the nature of comics. But he's done right now. He's done with Star Wars. He's done with Thor. So he's going to be taking over the Avengers book. That's right. He's going to have his new lineup involving Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Robbie Reyes, the new Ghost Rider. Dan, they're bringing back Ghost Rider. We get Ghost Rider again.
I know how much you love the Ghost Rider, Benny, so I'm sure you're very excited about that.
Ghost Rider! He's the point of view character for people. So wait, hold on. We are going to follow Ghost Rider as the main character of the Avengers book. Okay, I'm really on board with this, like legit. Like I'm not even trying to mess with you guys. We're not even trying to hype it up for the episode. I love Ghost Rider. I love Robbie Reyes as a Ghost Rider. I still love me some Johnny Blaze, but Robbie Reyes as a Ghost Rider, pretty much being the point of view character for the Avengers team. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. Anyway, he also teased the Hunt for Wolverine comic book, which is going to be coming out, the Return of the Fantastic Four with Dan Slott and Sarah Pacelli, and a possible he teased a possibility of a DC Marvel crossover. Let's just pause for a moment. That silence was legit. Dan, a DC Marvel crossover. Teased by the editor-in-chief of Marvel.
How did I not hear more about this?
How did I not hear more about this until we're reading the news article from C2E2? He also talked about a new story involving Dazzler, which is a story that he believes is going to take everyone by surprise. How do you go, I'm teasing the possibility of a DC Marvel crossover, and then go, by the way, Dazzler is going to be amazing?
Well, they want to dazzle you twice, Benny.
I am, no joke, speechless. We have nothing else. We have literally nothing else, if that's legit. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, time to go over the comic books that came out today on New Comic Book Day, right here on Comics Tonight. Let's go to that commercial, Dan.
Still not big enough for a commercial break, Benny.
Oh, all right then. Starting off with DC, we have Wonder Woman number 44, Amazon's Attacked Part 4. When they last met, Wonder Woman was robbed of a chance to meet Darkseid in single combat, and she's certain to take him down now. At last, she's going to get her wish with Darkseid at full power. Will she survive without the help of the Justice League? Over in Supergirl number 20, we have Supergirl must fight Mokhari in an out-of-dimension Viking judge to save Director Bones from the fury of the Vikings' magical axe. Okay, I actually like Supergirl, but that sentence is something you will only ever hear in a comic book. Justice League of America, number 28 is the Dawn of Time Part 2. Kronos continues to travel through time with the Justice League in hot pursuit. At the same time, he's taunting the Atom, getting in his head and trying to convince him that he's never going to be a real Atom. Will Ryan Cho be able to overcome Kronos' attack and help his team? And will time itself forever belong to Kronos? Over in Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps number 42, we have The Darkest Before Dawn Part 1. Hal Jordan is the paragon of a Green Lantern, but even a hero can sometimes doubt the methods that they're known to use. In those moments, something dark will creep in, and it can create an evil in the universe that they are not ready to face. Over in Flash number 44, we have Perfect Storm Part 6. This is, as I believe it, the finale to the Grodd becoming a speedster and losing his powers series that has been going on right now. Batman Detective Comics number 978 features Batman Eternal Part 3. It's continuing the storyline in which Batwoman is running the colony and trying to battle against Batman and his team. Tomb Raider Survivors Crusade number 4. This is the storyline that was pretty much started up, as I've said on my Twitter, to follow along with the movie, but in this one, Lara Croft is cornered. By visiting a remote temple discovered by her father, she walked right into Trinity's trap. If you're not following the Tomb Raider storyline, Trinity is the evil organization that she is battling against. They were in the movie, and they've been in the comics and video games for a while. This is part 4 of Survivors Crusade. Over in Aliens and Predator Prometheus, Fire and Stone, the trade paperback, has released. You can go check it out yourself and follow that storyline involving the aliens and the predators. Over in Resident Alien in New York number 1, we have a stranded alien that continues to hide in plain sight in Patience, Washington, posing as the small town's doctor. When a startling new mystery catches his eye, he takes a trip to New York City with one of his only human friends, a Native American shaman. Once again, sentence I would only say in a comic book. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey number 21 is Full Circle Part 3. The calculator has broken Blackbird and Fennis out of Arkham Asylum, putting targets on Batgirl and Huntress's backs. Part 3 of a storyline, so if you want to start that storyline at the beginning, make sure you go back 2 issues. Over at Ninjak number 6, we have an all-new arc, a great jumping on point as it's the beginning of the Coalition Part 1. The once loyal agent is defected from the that's not even a sentence. The once loyal agent has defected from the ranks of MI6's most elite espionage unit, the Ninja Unit. Over in Bloodshot Salvation number 8, can Bloodshot rewrite the Book of the Dead to save his daughter from darkness? That sentence says it all. I love Bloodshot. Over in Spider-Man and Deadpool these cards are sticking together. Over in Spider-Man and Deadpool number 31, we have Spider-Man and Deadpool versus everyone. That's right, Spider-Man and Deadpool have done something with grave consequences. Those consequences, it's just an all-out war with all of the heroes in the Marvel I'm gonna read this. So it's basically Spider-Man and Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe. They just don't want to call it that. That's what it is. Over in Domino number 1, we have Bad Luck and Trouble. This is the beginning of a brand new storyline, brand new, I believe it's a mini, but I may be wrong about that, but you can follow the hero Domino, who's featured in the new Deadpool 2 movie. Doctor Strange number 388 is another Damnation tie-in. Come on, there we go. Is another Damnation tie-in. So if you're following the storyline of Damnation, which I believe, because I have not been reading it, because I tend not reading that when it's completed, is Mephisto playing a game with Doctor Strange and all of his friends. But this is the Damnation tie-in. So 388, great if you're reading that story, not so great as a jumping on point. Over in Despicable Deadpool number 298, it's the Marvel Universe Kills Deadpool Part 2. If you remember correctly, last time in Despicable Deadpool, he put a bounty out on his own head for like $2 million, getting everyone to come over and kill him. So this is part 2 to that storyline. Darth Vader number 14, I will get this to, there we go. It's Captain America, we'll get to that that one's on the floor. We got this. Okay. Over in Darth Vader, he continues his mission to bring Mon Cala to the heel. Darth Vader continues his mission to bring Mon Cala to heel. That is the homeworld of the Mon Calamaris, the fish people known as Dr. Akbar or Admiral Akbar. I have miscorrectly said everything about Star Wars, and I have a Star Wars tattoo. I think I know everything about Star Wars, and I can't even pronounce Admiral, apparently, because I replaced it with the word doctor. So anyway, Darth Vader is going over to the homeworld of the Calamari people to fight against them and put that planet to work for him. This is, I believe, part 2 to the storyline, but it's not commented on the solicit, so I don't know. Calamari. Yes, that is their name. They are Calamari people. All right. Over in Captain America number 700, we have Out of Time Conclusion. He's finally out of time. They put the pun in the solicit.
I actually wrote that one, Benny.
Dan, why are you hitting me with puns everywhere? Anyway, frozen in time and awakened in a decimated future, he's once again out of his error. There's only one way for Steve Rogers to restore and rebuild civilization, and that's to rule as King Captain America. That oddly reminds me of an Assassin's Creed storyline called The Tyranny of King Washington, in which George Washington got the apple of Eden and became a king. Did they just take it from that? I don't know. We'll find out. Captain America number 700 sounds really interesting. I always like storylines where Captain America, our symbol of American truth and justice, becomes evil. And the last book that we are going to be mentioning today for the solicits is Avengers number 688, No Surrender, Part 14. As the final battle for Earth begins, one Avenger will sacrifice everything to give his teammates a fighting chance. Now let's start theory crafting, Dan. It says one member will give his. So using the pronoun of his, that means that it's a male superhero. I'm thinking Quicksilver. That's my theory. By the time this episode's out, we'll know the facts. But if I'm correct, you'll know we recorded this a day before. What do you think, Dan?
I agree. I definitely was listening.
All right. Let's get to know that my producer is tracking our episode. But it's time to move on to our guest. Dan, you told me we had a guest today.
I did. We have Invisible Man. One warning, he is a mute, so he talks via sign language. So be sure to keep an eye out.
Is he going to sit down?
He's already been sitting there this entire time, Benny.
Dan, there's no one sitting in this chair. You can see the chair, buddy.
He's very good at his job.
Oh, Invisible Man. Okay, so he's going to sign language.
Yep.
Okay. Invisible Man, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Okay. How about you explain your origin, maybe, where you got your powers from? Dan, there is no one there. There is no one responding to me.
No, he's definitely there. He said he gave you his full origin story. You just cut him off midway. That was actually very rude of you, Benny.
You're messing with. There is no one there. You got me Masked Man, and I thought it was Batman, and now you're good. And then you sold the company to Rob, and now you get me no guest.
Whoa, you sold the company to Rob. Don't you blame that on me.
Dan, I can't work under these conditions. I can't. An Invisible Man? That's it, Dan. We're done. We're going to talk about this off the air. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. Yes, Dan. We're going to talk about this.
Invisible Man, I am so sorry. I got you a spot on the show. I told Benny that you talk in sign language, and he just decided not to learn it. I am so sorry, man. What are you still doing here?
GoFundMe.com/I'm Masked Man. No, not Batman. I'm really Masked Man.
Okay, that didn't answer my question of why you are still here.
You've never told me I had to leave.
I made a duck.